All right, here are webcomics. Here in the next episode of Your Comics: Transgender hate mail, homosexual hate mail, atheist hate mail. Basically, me reacting to a bunch of screen caps on YouTube and DeviantArt that are in response to comments. The response to comments I made against these deviant lifestyles and a few other things. Trigger warning: if you don't like what I'm saying, go ahead, click off the video. Don't lie and say there's hate speech in my videos. It's speech you hate. That's the real story. Yeah, also it's a good idea to get vaccinated and make sure it helps you stop the spread of the diseases. I've been hearing that some diseases have been making a comeback because people aren't getting vaccinated like they should, so you gotta make sure to get vaccinated. So continue on with people getting things wrong in these comment sections, and me trying to straighten out with vulva versus basic biology, and then getting ticked off about that, especially in this case here, and trying to use excuses that don't really hold up. So let's go. Girl says, Hero Comics, transgender ministries, I should not have to feel uncomfortable in living in my own body. No, you shouldn't. You have to learn to get along and live with what body you have. Don't be lying about your sex and trying to hide, aspects of your body and damaging it and poisoning and mutilating it to try to conform to lies and deceit. Bullcrap. It's not right. That's the problem. They are uncomfortable. They don't understand that that's normal. They think they have to change stuff when they don't. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she says, you can have something to do with being trans, judging by your name, but the fact that your name could imply that you're trans yourself and you're going around saying all this transphobic stuff, it ain't cool. I don't consider that word. No, transgender ministries. It's ministry to the transgender community. My pastor, Pastor Mike, okay, from Bethany Assembly, he basically was saying when I showed him response to my comments on YouTube, talking about how they disagreeing with the transgender lifestyle. This one girl who wants to be a boy. She's like Phoenix Animations, most likely. She's like, it was like, you're treating these people bad by saying that they're sinning, and nowhere in the Bible does it say that. I'm like, yeah, it does say right here, So yeah, he's like, look like you got a ministry there. So I was like, all right, maybe I do. That makes sense. So thank you, sir. So yeah, transgender ministries. That's how it works. Then girl says, nah, it's not that. It's functional. It's that I hate it because you have to learn to live with it. You don't want to learn to live with it because that's hard, which is weird because it's hard to do that, learn to live with it. Friday night's reality is harder too because every day you wake up and it's reality. You're like, okay, yeah, you gotta wake up, you go take a bath or shower, and you see your body. It's like, oh, yeah, that's what it looks like. Dang it, it's hide. There's stuff you'll see around here where they'll be saying stuff like, what was that? I forgot I had those. I forgot I had those. Not you, normal stuff, but their horrible belief system messes them up really bad because they're like, no, I was supposed to be Jimmy. Well, I was like, why am I born with boobs? I'm supposed to be Jimmy. Why am I a Sally? I'm supposed to be a Sally. Why am I Jimmy? That's what we doing. I'm supposed to be like this. I'm supposed to be like that, And, I don't like doing the same stuff that other girls like. I don't like the same stuff that other boys like. Yeah, that's the issue. Bodies are not, human minds are unique. Human bodies are not. Okay? That's the issue. To be human, they have to have certain traits to them. And but a human body is not. A human mind is not unique. Is unique. Every single person is a unique individual, but we are all human beings. Human beings are either born with male reproductive organs or female reproductive organs. If they are born with neither, then they are deformed. And that's not good. So yeah, usually we are. So that's how it goes. But they're like, they're basically getting it wrong when it comes to what makes them them. The girl says, not like she said, nah, it's not that. It's functional. It's that I hate it because she doesn't know. She's thinking that there's something wrong with it, but nothing is. And it makes me want to end it all at times because it's so uncomfortable because of lies. Also, the fact, highly respected, you stop talking about my genitals like it's some sort of thing you can objectify. Shouldn't be admitted that I'm a minor. I am 18 just yet. It doesn't matter. Why? Here's how. First of all, she started the thread And here's the deal: there'll be people out there saying like, "Yeah, here's how you poison your body so you don't have periods anymore. Here's how I can recommend you to a good doctor who can get your breasts removed and your vulva and mutilated to look like a penis and testicles." I'm like, okay, like thanks a lot, friends. Like, I say, don't do that. Like, how dare you say that? Yeah, it's just one of the many excuses they use. I made a single comment about being uncomfortable, and you turned my genitals into some hot topic. No, I talked about how that's not correct. Something's wrong. That being uncomfortable is normal. You gotta learn to live with it instead of trying to run away from reality. Would you go without saying this as a cisgender person? Yeah, I would say that. If a dude was like, "Why can't my stick be bigger?" I'm like, "Well, I think it should be fine, dude." Like, why does it supposed to have all that hair on it? Like, well, you can shave it, but it can be fine. It's all good. You don't have to worry about that, girl. It's a puss. It's fine. So yeah, I would say that to anyone. Talking about genitals. Yeah. So why do it to a transgender person? Because again, transgender person is lying about their medical sex and angry that they are given the genitals they were given. So yeah, the body they were given. So we must help them learn that they don't need to do that, not to be like that. Let's get you on here. That time. Where people too, yeah. So I'll talk to you as well. And I said, I am against the transgender way of life. Also, if you feel uncomfortable in your body, you have to learn to get used to it without lying away about biological sex. And then I say all ages must learn how to feel uncomfortable with their bodies. Your age does not matter in this case. You are suggesting transitioning, in this case, as you are suggesting transitioning, aka self-harm, as a solution. And then girl says, transitioning is not self-harm. Ignore all the self-harm. Ignore that there have been females, females, young girls, who have cut themselves, cut parts of their bodies because they are angry at them. They're trying to get rid of them. They're trying to hate on them, destroy them because they believe that's bondage. The girl said, there was one girl that did say, I got my period. I was trapped in femininity. I'm like, this is the issue. A lot of these problems can be dealt with by good psychology. Talk about learning to live with reality, psychology, not enabling psychology. Okay, and basically, the main question is, what does it mean to you to have breasts? To have a vulva, to menstruate? What does it mean to you? Then most likely they'll say things like, well, now I have to what? Wear dresses all the time. No, you don't. Now I have to what? I can't play this sport. You can't. You can't. There are girls that do that. Females that do that all the time. But if you say, now I have to clean up after myself, yeah, you do. That's normal. That's feminine hygiene. Different story. The saddest thing ever, people doing, messing around like this, thinking that they're forced to do something because of how they look or sound, or what their body does normally. It's really sad. That's not cleaning. That's not, basically involving examination. It's a different story. That's the issue. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Continue on, please. There's not self-harm, because I say it's not self-harm. Then I see, you've seen people, do that stuff, hurt themselves. And of course, binding basically cuts off blood supply to the breasts, and that can cause a lot of problems there, and causes breathing difficulties, and girls be having breathing difficulties, and all kinds of other nasty stuff happening because they bind, try to hide their breasts. And then basically girls being all angry about their vulvas and everything, damaging them. That's not good. That's self-harm. It's not good. No. So that's self-harm. Self-harm is involved in transgender lifestyle. It's actually the opposite, because the lies I was told, and the fact that you didn't even know, is the fact that you're just talking about a minor's genitalia. But yeah, though I will gladly talk about a minor's genitalia with people who are pro, genital mutilation, transgender. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. Looking at it like some object is kind of concerning, because of lies I was told. Not gonna lie, but being transgender has affected reduced my self-harm relapses through lies. lies. As long as I don't ignore reality, yeah, as long as I don't look at my stuff, I'll be fine. It's not good. You gotta work on that. Get used to your stuff. I'm incredibly proud and confident in who I am through lies. By lying about your sex. That's not good. That's not who you are. And yeah, age does matter through lies. It does not matter. Because there are certain things that I can do and can't do to transition at my age. Lie about my biological sex at my age. Yes, it matters with what you can do and what you can't do. But